how does your net worth stack up against people in your age group in 2025? Here's a crazy stat for you. The average net worth in the United States is over $1 million. But here's the catch. Most Americans are nowhere close to that number. And I'm here to explain why that's not as bad as it sounds. Comparison is often the thief of joy, but it's only human to want to know how you stack up against your peers. Because building your financial future is like planting a tree. It's very slow at first, but with time and the correct habits, you will see massive growth. I'm Terrell Higgins, your real estate and personal finance guide, and the goal of the channel is to help you master your finances and start building the life of your dreams. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the average and median net worth by age and giving you actionable advice to start building long-term wealth. Let's get into it. So let's start by clarifying what net worth actually is. Net worth is all the assets that you own, so cash, stock, real estate, minus everything that you owe, mortgages, credit card debt, loans. And that total is your net worth. So here is a key insight about these numbers. The average net worth in the United States is being skewed by the ultra wealthy. Imagine you walk into a room and then there is Jeff Bezos standing in the room. That average net worth for that entire room just went up to the hundreds of millions of dollars. If he leaves the room, it's going to drop way down back to normal. And this is what's happening in our country. The average net worth is $1.06 million. But if you take the median net worth, which is the middle number in a data set that's sorted, that number is only $192,000. The wealth inequality in the United States is at all-time highs. The top 1% of Americans in the United States have more wealth than the bottom 90%. And no, I did not misspeak. They have more wealth than the bottom 90% of the country. And what's more frightening is that the bottom 50% of the population of the United States only has 2.5% of the wealth.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
So now that we've set the stage for this discussion, let's break down net worth by age and show you why time is your greatest ally. So your 20s are all about laying the groundwork for your future success. So the average net worth in your 20s is $113,000, but the median is only $7,638. And most people in their 20s, they're starting off in the negative because of credit card debt or student loans, and that's perfectly normal. This decade of your life should be dedicated to building the skill set to actually increase your earning potential. And I know college prices have been skyrocketing in the last several years, but there is a strong correlation between your education level and how much money you can actually earn. There are exceptions to every rule, but higher levels of education generally translate into higher levels of net worth. But here's the good news about your 20s. You have the ultimate wealth building tool on your side: time. Every dollar that you invest in your 20s will turn into $88 by the time you're 65. So if you just invest in a simple S&P 500 index fund getting about 10% a year, if you can save about $30,000 by the time you're 30, you're on track to be a millionaire by the time you retire. Your 30s are often called the messy middle, and you're balancing your rising income, starting a family, and potentially caring for aging parents. The average net worth in your 30s is $317,000, but the median is about $35,649. And it's also the age that most people try and buy their first home. But the average age people purchase a home has been on the rise, and it's reached its peak of 38 years old. And this is mostly due to unaffordability in the housing market. And if you can purchase a home in your 30s, that is a huge multiplier for your net worth. According to the National Association of Realtors, on average, homeowners' net worth is about 40 times higher than renters. You might be wondering why that is. It's because homes are a forced savings plan, and most people's net worth is actually tied up in the equity of their home. In fact, 66% of people's net worth is tied up in equity in their home. So if you forego owning a home, you're missing out on a major wealth multiplier. So by 40, you're likely hitting your stride in your career. At 40, the average net worth jumps up to about $791,000, but the median net worth is only $125,000. But let's talk about why this is crunch time for your finances. So your 40s mark the beginning of your peak earning years. And this increased income is a perfect opportunity to start buckling down and saving aggressively for retirement. You still have about 20 years to traditional retirement age, so it's a perfect time to start saving for it. So if you're feeling a little behind at this stage in your life, remember, wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint, and you have 2 full decades to actually buckle down, create the right habits, and save for retirement. By the time you're 50, you've reached your peak earning years, and this is where retirement actually starts to take center stage. The average net worth in your 50s jumps up to $1.4 million, and the median is $288,000. At age 50, your catch-up contributions start to kick in, and you can start putting more money away in your 401k, your IRAs, and your HSAs. People tend to overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. This 10 years of your 50s is still plenty of time to save a bunch of money and have a very comfortable retirement. And as you transition from your 50s to your 60s, this is where people's net worth actually starts to peak out. So 60s is when people generally retire. And the average net worth in your 60s is $1.7 million. And the median net worth is $367,000. Those first few years of your 60s are called the go-go years of retirement. So you're very active with travel and hobbies and really enjoying the money that you've accumulated across your life. But this is also the most vulnerable time for your portfolio. There's something called a sequence risk. So if you have a series of bad market years, the first couple years into retirement, it can put your safe withdrawal rate for your retirement at risk. The old thumb rule for how you should predict your spending in retirement is 80% of what you're spending pre-retirement. But that 80% thumb rule doesn't really capture the nuance of how people actually spend money in retirement. Because when you first retire in those go-go years, you're going to spend a bunch of money traveling and exploring those hobbies that you've been deferring. So your spending is very close to your pre-retirement spending. And then as you transition from your 60s to your 70s, the amount of activities that you're doing is slowly declining, and you can expect a 2% decline in your spending year over year through your 70s, and then through your 70s to your 80s, it's going to start to come back up again just because of health issues and some end-of-life care. It should still stay below your pre-retirement spending levels. And this U shape curve for your spending in retirement is called the retirement smile. And that is more in line with what you should actually expect to spend in retirement. It is not a linear graph, and it does not ramp up as you stay retired longer, even if you account for inflation. So through your 70s and 80s, your net worth steadily declines. And the average net worth in your 70s is about $1.6 million. And the average net worth in your 80s is about $1.5 million. And the median hovers around the mid $300,000 range. So whether you're just starting out or you're nearing retirement age, recognize that these net worth numbers are only part of the equation. The most important thing when you're building wealth is to establish the correct habits and staying consistent over time. And if you're still working on saving that first $100,000, I actually did an entire video on that topic. Keep getting 1% better every day, and I will catch you guys next time.